Hey everyone, and welcome to this Masterclass Explainer. I am absolutely pumped to have you in the studio with me today. If you're a highly focused scholar gearing up to completely decode the Cambridge Accounting 9706 syllabus, well, you've just found your home base. Today, we are going deep. We're tackling a subject that consistently trips up even the most diligent straight-A students, and that is materials and labor cost accounting. As your master coach for today, my goal isn't just to read you formulas. We are going to strategically break down the complex data, map out your precise exam day execution strategies, and give you the absolute elite tools you need to secure maximum points on those high-tariff questions. So grab your notes, get comfortable, and let's get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this with a massive, high-stakes reality check, right from the people grading your papers. The senior examiner literally wrote, "Examiners report that materials and labor cost accounting is one of the most misunderstood areas in accounting. Let's fix that right now." This isn't just a random rumor. This comes straight from the principal examiner reports. We see students constantly struggling here because it requires this intense blend of rigorous, zero-mistake mathematics and a really deep, almost intuitive conceptual understanding. But hey, don't stress. By the time we wrap up this session, you are going to walk away with a clear, incredibly actionable framework to navigate this exact hurdle and turn it into your biggest strength. Here's the exact roadmap we're going to use to dismantle this topic today. First, the core accounting concepts. Second, step-by-step technical methodology. Third, critical analysis and evaluation. Fourth, top 3 examiner warnings. And fifth, the method mark strategy. All right, moving into section 1, the core accounting concepts. So a lot of students walk into the exam hall thinking that accounting is just punching numbers into a calculator. Actually, scratch that, it's way more than math. Achieving those top marks requires a rock-solid conceptual foundation before you even look at the data. Think of it as your theoretical architecture. In the Cambridge syllabus, your knowledge absolutely cannot exist in a vacuum. It's like a giant interconnected puzzle. This framework relies on highly precise definitions, understanding causal relationships, like exactly how an unexpected spike in labor costs is going to ripple out and impact your material variances, and crucially, integration with other syllabus areas. The examiners are actively looking for top-performing students who show a connected understanding that they can transfer to totally weird, unfamiliar business contexts. If you can naturally reference cross-topic connections in your written answers, you're proving that you don't just memorize textbook formulas. You're showing them you actually grasp how the whole financial ecosystem breathes. That right there is the elite secret to bumping your grade up to the next band. Let's shift gears now to section 2, step-by-step technical methodology. Let's move to the tactical side and see how this builds under pressure. Having a brilliant conceptual mind is awesome, but when you've got a ticking clock and a 15-mark question staring you down, you need a highly structured, repeatable process. This is what we call the 3-step question scan, expanded into a full 5-step procedural framework. Step 1, identify the key elements. You've got to surgically deconstruct the question and pull only the relevant data from the stimulus. Step 2, apply relevant principles. Pick your analytical weapon of choice. Step 3, execute your analysis with crystal clear, logical working. Step 4, and so many people skip this, verify your results. Take a step back and ask, does this number actually make sense for a company of this size? And finally, step 5, present your findings in the appropriate format. Lock this standardized sequence into your brain, and I guarantee you'll never accidentally leave a vital piece of data on the table again. And speaking of that final presentation step, guys, there are incredibly strict conventions you simply have to follow. We're talking proper headings, spot-on terminology, appropriate formats, and super clear annotations. You might be wondering, why are they so obsessed with headings? Well, it's because practical application in materials and labor cost accounting is all about developing real-world professional skills. Think of the examiner not as a teacher, but as a proxy for a corporate chief financial officer. If you hand a CFO a report without proper headings or you use casual, sloppy terminology, your analysis instantly loses all its professional credibility, no matter how flawless the math is. Following these conventions strictly demonstrates exactly the high-level professional standard they are eager to reward. All right, section 3, critical analysis and evaluation. This is where the magic happens. Now, before we completely unlock the secrets of critical analysis, I need to pause for just a quick second. If you want to consistently crush these Cambridge exams and want to make sure you never miss a weekly strategy breakdown, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button for Ace the Exam's IGCSE O&A levels at acetheexam_IGCSE and absolutely smash that notification bell. We are dropping exam hacks constantly, and you need to be in the loop. Okay, back to it. If you are gunning for that A-star, evaluative thinking is your absolute superpower. Top-scoring candidates don't just accept what's written on the page, they aggressively question the assumptions. They consider completely different viewpoints, and then they justify every single decision with hard, undeniable evidence. When you look at a stimulus, you need to be asking, wait, what assumptions is this management team making about their factory's labor efficiency? Are those assumptions actually realistic given the data? That's what separates an average, purely descriptive response from a brilliantly analytical, top-tier essay.
There is a night and day difference between standard analysis and top-tier comparative analysis. Standard analysis just lists standalone facts. Honestly, it reads like a boring grocery list, and it won't get you top marks. But top-tier comparative analysis, it utilizes what we like to call the paragraph balance formula. It balances identifying similarities and differences, and it seamlessly bridges them using comparative connectives, powerful words like whereas, conversely, or furthermore. You literally have to support each comparison with evidence and then draw a firm conclusion about its relative importance. So please, don't just write material A is cheaper than material B. You have to explain exactly why that matters and how the difference in quality might completely offset those initial cost savings over a 5-year timeline. That's the level of depth we need.
To make sure your evaluation is truly bulletproof, I want you to run every answer through this quick last 5 minutes review checklist. First, identify the data limitations. Ask yourself, what is this chart not telling us? Second, spot any hidden assumptions lurking in the management's costing strategy. Third, force yourself to consider alternative interpretations of that exact same data. And fourth, critically assess how all these hidden factors might drastically alter your final conclusions. The elite candidates always consider multiple angles before they lock in their final answer. It shows a highly mature, incredibly professional grasp of how accounting works in the real world.
Let's keep the momentum going into Section 4, Top 3 Examiner Warnings.
We are raising the stakes here by pulling back the curtain on the actual principal examiner reports. So the crucial point is knowing where thousands of students crash and burn, so you can step right over those traps. Warning number 1, using the wrong approach for the context. This is brutal. You could execute a visually perfect, mathematically flawless calculation, but if it's the wrong method for that specific business scenario, boom, 0 marks. Warning number 2, forgetting format and presentation rules. We literally just talked about this. Don't throw away free points because you were rushing and forgot a heading or used casual slang. And warning number 3, providing answers not specific to the given scenario. Memorized, generic textbook answers will actively annoy the examiner. You must anchor every single piece of knowledge strictly to the data and the specific company they gave you in the prompt.
Finally, Section 5, the method mark strategy. If you zone out for everything else today, tune in for this one single concept because it is your ultimate safety net. Examiners issue this alert year after year, students lose marks by not showing working. Even if your final answer is wrong, method marks can save you. I literally cannot say this with enough passion. In materials and labor cost accounting, they are awarding you marks for your cognitive process. Skipping your working out because you did the math in your head or maybe scribbled it on a scrap piece of paper is hands down the fastest way to throw away guaranteed marks. Look, let's say you make a tiny, silly calculator typo in step 2. If your logic and methodology for steps 3, 4, and 5 are completely flawless based on that initial bad number, Cambridge examiners will still award you those method marks, sometimes called own figure marks. But they can absolutely only do that if they can trace your logic clearly on the page. Show every single step. Protect your grade at all costs. Wow. Okay, we have covered a massive amount of highly strategic ground today. We went from mastering the theoretical architecture of the syllabus to deploying the strict 5-step procedural framework, and finally to leveraging the absolute life-saving power of method marks. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. Now that you know exactly where the hidden traps are and you understand precisely the elite skills the examiner is hunting for, how are you going to adapt your strategy for your next materials and labor cost problem? It is time to take this blueprint, apply it to your past papers, and systematically conquer your next exam. Thank you so much for joining me on this masterclass explainer. Remember to hit subscribe for AC Exams IGCSE O and A levels at aceexam_IGCC. Turn on those notifications and drop a comment below right now with your target grade so we can hold you accountable. Keep your strategy sharp, and I will see you in the next one.